Opus just got a major upgrade. Claude Opus 5 just dropped and it's closing the gap to Anthropic's most powerful model at half the price. If you are building agents or shipping codes, then it changes your cost per task equation overnight. Here is the reality. Up until today, choosing between Opus and Fable 5 was an easy trade-off. Fable was brilliant but expensive. Opus was affordable, but it had limits on coding, reasoning, and long-running agent work. You picked one or the other. Opus 5 smashes that trade-off. In this video, I'm breaking down what exactly changed in Opus 5, the performance gain on coding and reasoning tasks, how the cost model works, and 3 real demos showing why your next AI project should probably use this AI model. Hey, I'm Sudipta, Enterprise Cloud Architect. I'm working with Claude model in production for past 18 months. I build MCP servers, Salesforce Agentforce agent, and long-running automation routines. Opus 5 is the model I'm switching to for most of that work. Let's get into that. First, the basic. Claude Opus 5 is released last week on July 24th, 2026. It is Anthropic's new workhorse model for the Opus tier. The key numbers: same price as Opus 4.8, that's $5 per million input tokens and $25 per million output token. But the performance, that's the story. Opus 5 is positioned as a thoughtful and proactive model. What that means in practice: it doesn't rush. Before writing code, it thinks through the problem. Before deploying a change, it double checks. That carefulness pays off in a fewer bugs and better reasoning on edge cases. On the benchmark: Frontier Bench, Cursor Bench, ERC AGI, OS World, Opus 5 is the new state-of-the-art on most developer and reasoning tasks. It trails only on Mythos 5 on cybersecurity task and Fable 5 on a few specialized benchmarks. But on cost per task, it's winner across the board. Let's start with the coding. I'm going to ask Claude 5 to solve a real problem. Take a CSV file, parse it, find any rows with missing data, and generate a report. It might sound simple, but the quality of the output really depends on whether the model really thinks through the edge cases. So here in my Claude code, I am adding a file salesdata.csv, and then I am giving this prompt telling you are a data analyst assistant. I have the CSV file with the sales data, date, product, region, quantity, revenue, customer ID, and discount. CSV file is attached, and this is the task. Parse the CSV, identify all rows with the missing data and which columns are affected due to the missing data. Generate a summary report with counts and percentages of missing data by column. Calculate the impact, that is revenue loss due to missing quantity or revenue values. Suggest a data imputation strategy for each column. And finally, output this as a markdown with a detailed table showing the analysis and the prioritized recommendation list. And here in the model, I am going to select Opus 5, and I don't need the thinking effort as high. I'm going with medium, and then send the message. And let's wait for Opus 5 to follow my instruction and come up with the output. Okay, the result came back. As you can see, this is the sales data. These are, and what I'm trying to do, basically, I'm trying to do a missing value analysis and the remediation plan. It's telling this is the source data. There are 15 rows and 7 columns, total 105 cells. Date range to 2024-0101 to 2024-0115. 1 row per day, no gaps, and analyst day is today's date. Okay, so what it's telling, total rows is 15, rows with at least one missing value is 9, fully completed rows is 16, total missing cells 11 out of 105, which is 10.5%. Column affected are 5 out of 7. These are the columns: region, quantity, revenue, customer ID, discount. Estimated unrecovered revenue is 3,450, which is 11.8% of the true total. Okay, then it's telling row level inventory of missing data. These are the summary, these are the product values, and what is the severity, high, medium, and it's ranked that. Column level missingness summary, these are the different columns and whether there is any missing data or not. Finally, it's telling quantified impact, what are the impact of missing data, and it's telling all this information here. Looks very good. Finally, it's telling the imputation strategy per column. Now here it's telling for the revenue, the recommendation strategy is deterministic derivation, and this is the method. For quantity, it will be deterministic derivation followed by verify. For quantity, it will be again deterministic derivation, and this is the formula for that. For region, explicit, there is no category, and this is something that you can put, or I can put region equals to unknown. For the customer ID, you cannot do a impute. It's not possible. For discount, resolve semantics first and then impute, confirm whether the blank means no discount. If yes, fill with 0.0, something like that. And then it's telling this is the recommendation that P0, P1, what are the things that I should do. These are the caveats. So looks like Opus 5 was able to analyze the CSV file, find out all the missing data, and gave me a very good report what I should do, what's the impact of the missing data, what I should do to solve the problem, and what are the different caveats and what are the step-by-step actions that I should take to solve this problem. So it looks very promising to me. With that, let's move to the next demo. Second demo, it's about long context reasoning. Opus 5 is built for holding multiple sources in mind and finally synthesizing them. Imagine you are analyzing industry trend. You have 5 articles from different sources: benchmark, business news, safety reports, infrastructure insight, and developer feedback. You need Opus 5 to hold all 5 in mind, spot connections, and generate a coherent briefing, not 5 separate summaries. Rather, I want one unified, intelligent, summarized picture. So here I am adding the prefetched article, which I stored inside this MD file. And this is a prompt which I'm giving. You are a content research analyst. I have 5 prefetched tech articles that I need you to analyze to identify the industry trend. Prefetched contents are attached, which is this one. These are the tasks. For each article, create a 2-3 sentence of the core message. Classify each article by primary topic. Identify the top 3 emerging themes, trends that appear across the multiple articles. For each trend, cite the articles support it and explain the evidence. And finally, generate a markdown briefing document with executive summary, table showing article classification, 3 trend section, a conclusion with your assessment. Output the briefing as clean, well formatted markdown. And here the model is Opus 5 and the effort is medium. So let's send this prompt to Opus 5's way. And notice I'm not asking to fetch URLs. I'm giving it 5 articles and asking to synthesize. Classify each one, find the pattern across the 5 and build an intelligent briefing. The key here, Opus 5 has to keep all 5 articles in context simultaneously and find connections between them. And here the briefing is ready. It's an industry trend briefing. These are the article classification, different sources: Hacker News, TechCrunch, The Verge, and the product hunt. This is the primary topic. This source is talking about the AI model. This topic is talking about this source is talking about the business impact, The Verge. And then product hunt is talking about the developer tool. Now these are the different trends. Cost efficiency has replaced raw capabilities as a competitive frame. Supporting articles 2, which is basically the TechCrunch article. And then 1, 4, and 5. These are the evidences. This is a trend 2. This is a trend 3. And finally the conclusion assessment. So again, Claude 5 didn't give me 5 different summaries. Rather, it took all the information in mind, synthesizes them, and provided me one very intelligent report. So that something has changed in Opus 5. Very powerful one. With that, let's move to the last demo. Third demo, it's all about visual outputs and scientific reasoning. Opus 5 can now generate high quality interactive visualizations and handle complex data analysis. Let me show you 2 examples. The first one, a wind tunnel simulation. I asked Opus 5 to build an interactive visualization showing airflow over objects with different aerodynamic shapes. Opus 5 generates a full HTML page with smooth animation. So here is a prompt: create an interactive HTML5 canvas-based wind tunnel simulation visualizer. Requirement: display a 2D cross-selection view of the wind tunnel, show a controllable object in the center, animate wind particles flowing from left to right across the screen. Particles should deflect around the object based on its aerodynamic properties, sphere, streamlined shaped, cube, and airfoil. And then I put few controls which I want in the final output. And then it generates the report, and if I click on, here is the result that I've received. As you can see, let me expand that. As you can see, it created a full HTML page where I have the control to increase the speed, the seed density, then the streak length. I can reseed, I can change the shape, and depending on the shape, how the particles are getting deflected, that is being shown here with the real-time turbulence intensity separate point. So within a very short amount of time, Opus 5 was able to build this smooth animation covering a very powerful complex concept from physics, which is wind tunnel simulation. Example, a cell diagram, even more complex. Opus 5 built a detailed level illustration of a eukaryotic cell, all interactive. Click on a component and it highlights and shows the information. So here is a prompt which I gave to Opus 5: create an interactive HTML5 based eukaryotic cell diagram with clickable organs. Requirement: draw a stylic eukaryotic cell, circular shape. Include these organs like nucleus, mitochondria, Golgi, different type of things for each one. Make sure it's clickable. When clicked, show the name, function, and the key characteristics and all these things. So it's a very complex scientific diagram or visualization that I'm asking Claude 5 to generate. And Claude was able to generate everything. And then when I'm clicking on that, it will open here. As you can see, this is the eukaryotic cell. These are the different components. This is when I click on the cell membrane. This is the cell membrane. When I'm clicking on nucleus, this is the nucleus. This is the Golgi. This is the mitochondria. And these are the information about the mitochondria. This is the information about the nucleus. This is the information about the Golgi, lysosome. So within a very, very short amount of time, with a proper instruction or a proper prompt, Opus 5 was able to build a visualization about a very complex topic. This is really powerful. I love it. Now let me hit you with the key performance gaps. On coding benchmark, Opus 5 is close to Fable 5 at a fraction of the cost. On the cursor bench, at max effort, Opus 5 scores with 0.5% of the Fable 5, but costs roughly half as much per task. On reasoning task, ARC AGI JPR automation bench, Opus 5 is 1.5 to 3 times better than the next best model at the same cost as Opus 4.8. So if you're still using Opus 4.8, upgrading is going to be a pure win for you. On scientific work, chemistry, biology, protein analysis, Opus 5 shows 7 to 10 percentage point improvements over 4.8. Alright, here is what you walk away with. Number 1. Opus 5 is the new default for production work. If you are building agents, automations, or reasoning tasks, this is your model. The performance to cost ratio is unbeatable right now. Number 2. Self-verification is real. Opus 5 double checks its work before handing it back. Fewer bugs, fewer iteration loops. This changes how you design your AI workflow. You can build more autonomously. Number 3, visual output and scientific reasoning are production ready. If you are building educational tool, research assistant, or data visualization product, Opus 5 can be your AI layer. The quality is there. So here is what you can do first. Go to Claude.ai, flip to Opus 5 and test it on your hardest problem. Whether it's debugging legacy code, building an automation routine, or generating research document, run it against your Opus 4.8 baseline. You'll definitely see the benefit. And if this breakdown is helpful, please subscribe to my channel Technical Potpourri to know more about Claude AI agents, automation routines, Salesforce Agentforce. And finally, please click on the bell icon so that next time when I'll publish videos like this, I want you to be notified first. Till my next video, stay safe. Thank you. Bye-bye.